Welcome back to our live studio from Interpack. This very international fair is all about processing and packaging and the machines that are needed for that. And therefore, smart engineering is the key to sustainable processing and packaging. That is the topic of my next talk. And here with me is Richard Clemens, manager of VDMA. I have to read this. It's the Trade Association Food Processing and Packaging Machinery. Welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And welcome home.
Yes, it's actually the first time for me. How often have you been to Interpack?
10 times.
10 times.
10
so
times.
then it is really welcome home.
Would be 11 times, but 2020 we missed the Interpack. So
Yes. Okay. Let's look at that. It's been 6 years. How does it feel to be back?
Oh, it feels really very good.
Yes.
We haven't seen a lot of people since 6 years. Okay, we have seen them on the screen, but it's a people's business. And we had a lot of visitors from Australia, South America, Asia, North America. So, as already mentioned, it's a people's business, and to meet the people is absolutely necessary in our business.
So has this gap changed something in the way people come together and connect in the industry?
Yes, it has changed a little bit. Of course, a lot of things you can make via screen with Teams or Skype meetings. So for a 2 hours meeting, you don't have to travel maybe 2 or 3 or 4 hours. But in the end, it remains people's business.
Yes. There have been some attempts to use digital or virtual tools to bring people together. Would you say that the importance of these physical fairs like Interpack and this like the biggest processing and packaging fair, have they become even bigger because of the absence of the fair for 6 years?
I think so, and a lot of innovations happened in the last 6 years. So you want to see the machine. You want to see everything working, and you have to explain your clients what happens there. You have to explain the innovations, and that's nearly impossible to make that on the screen.
I also find it always very interesting to go to these fairs because we usually just write about machines, packaging materials, and here you meet the people behind the company names and you see the machinery. You have mentioned innovations just now. I think you told me you haven't really been able to wander through the halls yet, but what innovations are you hoping to see maybe tomorrow at Interpack this year?
So 6 years ago, people asked me, what are the trends? And then at that time, we talked about sustainability, digitalization, circular economy. It's not a trend, it's a fact.
Yes.
And we see a lot of different solutions for new packaging material, for machines saving resources, saving packaging materials, saving energy, saving water. In the whole food production, you need a lot of energy and you need a lot of water. And saving these resources means also saving money. On the other side, we are talking about sustainability. We are talking about reducing CO2 emissions. So we see a lot of efforts in this whole field.
Mm-hmm. You have already held a talk on smart engineering today and sustainable processing and packaging. Tell us a bit more about this. How can smart engineering help with this sustainability factor?
So I think on the first view, everybody says, isn't it a contradiction to talk here on Interpack about sustainability? On the other hand, this is the fair, this is the technology which helps to solve a lot of problems. And I said today in the morning, German engineers have a kind of DNA for improvements, for innovations. And we have a lot of regulations. We have a lot of requirements from our clients, from the society, and these requirements are also drivers for innovations. So we will see here a lot of innovative products, we don't have one solution. We have a lot of different solutions.
I think that's also one advantage of this big fair, to be able to see many solutions and from different countries. What would you say, how important is this international factor, this international audience for the packaging and processing industry?
It's important because you have to see, to have to smell, to taste everything. And such a fair, it's the leading fair, it's the number one, is like a bazaar. You will find solutions from all over the world. Yes, I know that 2/3 of the machinery for food processing and packaging have their origin in Europe. But seeing what the Chinese, the Japanese or South American competitors, to see these solutions, these ideas, to see what ideas have the younger startups, that's the spirit of Interpack.
Yeah, the fair brings together a variety of big or small sized companies. That's definitely true. It is also an industry that has gone through some dynamic times and crises and is still. How would you say has the packaging and processing industry coped with with these dynamic times over the last 6 years and today as well?
It was a dynamic or crazy time during the pandemic situation. Before this situation, we discussed a lot about the need of packaging material. Then each cookie was packed for hygienic reasons. We had the problem with our supply chains. We missed a lot of parts. On the other hand, we couldn't travel to our clients. So traveling to China or to USA was sometimes completely forbidden. How build up the machinery. And nowadays we have the problem that we are still, we miss still some spare parts. So the supply chain is still not completed. But the discussions about the need of packaging material are still here. And when I talked about contradiction, to talk about sustainability here at Interpack, I am absolutely convinced that this industrial sector is a kind of enabler for the change in the next years.
The change obviously has to start somewhere. One other crisis that many industries are facing right now is where to get workers overall, new workers, young people who want to become part of the industry. Fachkräftemangel is the German word. I don't really know the English equivalent, to be quite honest. Why is it so important to interest younger people for the packaging and processing industry, and how do you think can this be achieved?
Oh, it's a very difficult way, because in the whole field of engineering, we have a problem with young talents. More than 500 students will come to our booth, but that's not really much. And that won't solve the problems. We need these people for innovations. We need them for new technologies, and we have to keep in mind this is really high tech what the companies produce.
Is a fair like Interpack a good place to start the conversation maybe with younger people who are starting their career and to get them interested, do you think?
Yes, it is. It is a good place to talk to young people. It is a good place to talk also to their parents, because we are talking about an industrial sector who has a good future. I'm very lucky to work in this industrial sector. We have a growth since many years. We need more packaged food. We expect in the year 2050 nearly 10 billion of people. And we have to feed these people. We can feed them only with the right technology. So it's really a good future for these young people.
Yes, I guess packaging will always be there because there will always be products that need to be packaged, right?
It will be always be there, and it is a must. It is a must to save food, is a must for food safety, security, to protect the food.
Food safety or product safety is also one of the hot topics of this year's Interpack. Can you tell us a bit more about this hot topic and maybe also the other ones? What is their relevance?
So we have seen that in some countries we have post-harvest food losses up to 60%. That's a lot. So the question is how to feed the people in the year 2050. So we need more technology, more logistic chains, more packaging material, high-end technologies, because we also see that in a lot of countries we have mega cities, not in Germany, not in Europe. We are talking about Shanghai, Mexico City, Lagos in Africa. So how to fit these people in these mega cities? So we need really technology to save the food and to bring the food to the clients.
Another, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to call it issue, but another challenge maybe that the industry is facing are changing regulations. The European Green Deal is on its way. How is the industry facing these ever-changing and maybe becoming stricter and stricter regulations? Are they important? Are there challenges involved with them for you?
It's really a challenge, and especially for the medium-sized companies, it's a lot of bureaucracy. And sometimes these regulations, we sometimes call it a kind of tsunami for regulations, doesn't make sense. On the other hand, when we are talking about the regulation in the field of packaging sector, we expected that because we have seen from our clients worldwide new expectations, new requirements. We have seen it from the society. And I know sometimes these regulations in the details doesn't make sense, but in principle, we need these regulations to reduce the CO2 emissions, to reduce the waste worldwide. And regulations and requirements of the society or the clients are always a kind of innovation driver.
Yes, definitely. So you would also say that there are chances in these regulations?
So talking about risk or opportunities, we see as German producers opportunities. And once again, we see us as enabler of these new technologies and enabler of the transformation.
Looking into the future, maybe 3 years ahead to the next Interpack, do you see any changes that might happen, maybe trends or something, or what would you wish for to sit here and tell us in 3 years' time?
Oh, viewing the future is always very difficult. I expect a lot of new packaging material, maybe bio-based packaging material. I expect new machine generations which can handle or which can have the same speed with new recycled packaging material. I wish specifications for packaging or for recycled material. I wish a market for recycled material. So I'm not sure in 3 years, might be in 6 years.
Okay. I mean, those are quite a few things to look potentially forward to in the future.
The greatest challenges is for us to buy recycled material. We are talking about contact-sensitive materials, especially in the foodstuff. So you can't use a can for oil and afterwards for sausages or for pharmaceuticals. So we need really specifications for this plastic materials.
One last question. It's day 4 of Interpack now. 3 days have already passed. Tell us about your happiest moment so far at this year's Interpack.
My happiest moment was on the first evening when I met in the first hours of Interpack a lot of friends, a lot of people, and when I've seen Interpack is working again and everybody said welcome home, and I saw a lot of visitors from all the countries.
I hope that you will keep on meeting a lot of people during the next few days. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Clemens.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will be back at, what is it now? At 4 with our German program, and Jan Malte Andresen will be talking to another startup here in our own little startup zone. And if you have missed any of our videos and talks so far, be sure to rewatch them at packagingjournal.de or interpack.de. And we will be back with our English program tomorrow, so tune in at 11 o'clock again. See you then.